Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IT Equation. Make Red Hat Enterprise Linux your hybrid cloud equalizer. Today's webinar is sponsored by Red Hat and produced by Actual Tech Media. My name is Keith Ward. I'm with Actual Tech Media, and I'm really excited to be your moderator for this special event. Now, before we get to today's content, though, we do have a few housekeeping items to make you aware of. First off, we want this to be an informative event, so we encourage any questions in the questions box in your webinar control panel. That Q&A panel is also the place to let us know about any technical issues you might be having. If you're not seeing the screen, if you're not hearing something, if something goes wrong, let us know in that Q&A and we will get right on it. Next up, in the handout section of your webinar control panel, it's right next to that questions tab. You'll find a number of really important resources, and I'd especially like to call your attention to the guide to getting started with Red Hat. Now, other resources you'll find in that section include a link to the Gorilla Guide Book Club, where you can get access to Actual Tech Media's vast library of books on technology topics. There you'll also find a link to the ATM Event Center, which has our calendar of upcoming events. Thirdly, at the end of this webinar event, we'll be awarding a $250 Amazon gift card to one of you today. Now, you do have to be in attendance for the entire event to qualify for the prize. The official terms and conditions of the drawing can be found in the handouts section. Scroll to the bottom and you'll find the prize terms and conditions link there. Okay, enough of the boring stuff. Let's get to the good stuff. It is my pleasure to introduce you today to our presenter, Nate Lager with Red Hat. Nate is ready to go. So, Nate, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Here at Red Hat, I work with Red Hat Enterprise Linux, and I'm here to tell you about how to make RHEL your hybrid cloud equalizer. And what I mean by that is by defining a standard environment that you can deploy pretty much anywhere, anywhere that supports RHEL anyway, to standardize your deployments. So first we're going to go into a little bit of background. So there's about 63% of organizations that run more than 25% of their workloads on public cloud environments. Okay, now this is a study performed by Flexera. It was back in 2022. And what this statistic tells me is that not only are enterprises and organizations interested in cloud deployments, but they're not 100% there yet, which means that 75% of those workloads are somewhere else, probably in a data center. But there's also the consideration that some of them may be across several cloud providers, right? Our own data shows that organizations are thinking about moving more workloads to or deploying new ones in public cloud providers. You can see in the upper graphic here that regards to moving to the cloud, 58% have taken actions in the past 12 months, and 60% are expected over the next 2 years, right? And then the lower graphic regarding deployments in the cloud already, the numbers respectively are 40% and 48%. So 40% have deployed new workloads in the cloud in the past 12 months, and 48% expect to deploy new workloads in the cloud in the next 2 years. Okay, and then again, from that Flexera study, 40% of respondents said that standardizing their operating environment is a preferred approach when they're moving to a cloud provider, or a preferred approach in general, right? If you've ever had to manage a fleet of systems, then you know from experience that having standards that all systems comply to can greatly improve your efficiency. Cloud technologies can help organizations remain competitive in today's evolving digital world. Leveraging cloud can give you flexibility performance, and automation that can help you streamline and optimize costs. Running your applications across several cloud providers or several providers and on premises adds complexity, though. Even more so if you choose a different model for each location, or even different. There's different terminology, different APIs, maybe different operating systems, or maybe even no operating system if you're trying to go with a cloud native application or cloud native deployment. Not to mention the loss of control and visibility into the lower portion of the technology stack, right? There's pieces that you don't own anymore, so you can't see, right? You can't see what's going on, say, for example, at the network layer. There's no question that multi-cloud and hybrid cloud often brings challenges. Cloud providers offer you as-a-service style API-driven services that make it easy to integrate applications with their cloud. The issue, however, can be that services are not available on other providers, right? So cloud services offered by one provider may be different or not offered by a different provider. Compliance and security authorizations could dictate where certain workloads need to live, or even that they'll have to move from one provider to another. And data control. Cloud providers make it easy for you to get your data in, but sometimes either difficult or expensive to move it back out again. All these points can contribute to vendor lock-in. So, can you afford to depend on one technology provider? Do you want to be able to decide for yourself how your company evolves and how you build your ecosystem? How can you drive automation across the entire ecosystem without standardization? How will you track your data, keep it consistent, clean, accessible, portable, secure, and integrated? Red Hat provides a recognized standardization across silos, platforms, and industries. Vendor lock-in problems aren't an if, they're a when. Without realizing it, organizations become dependent on a cloud vendor and are often blindsided when they may need to switch cloud providers, whether it's for compliance or for cost. One of the common reasons that this happens is adopting cloud services over time and as the need for more scalability becomes apparent. We've also seen downtime from every cloud provider over the years, right? You've heard about these huge outages where half the internet's down because some cloud provider had an issue. Failover makes the most sense when you're covering at least two cloud providers, or perhaps on-premises and a cloud provider. This requires thoughtful deployment and of applications and data. Red Hat provides open, consistent access to any technology provider for the highest cost efficiency, while you remain in control, trusted by 95% of enterprise companies. And let's not forget about edge deployments. RHEL for Edge can help you maintain that compatibility across your entire footprint, from the core of your data center all the way out to the edge. This flexibility is invaluable and empowers organizations like yours to retain skills, standards, processes, best practices, and management tools, reducing the friction and cost of constant change. So RHEL in the cloud can help you standardize. A standard approach to IT environments and infrastructure gives your organization the consistency that it needs to reduce the complexity of the cost and friction of change. You can improve time to market. Automating across standard operating environments can improve efficiency. It can bring management and automation, All RHEL subscriptions get the benefit of insights for management and analysis. There's also, of course, other options, things like Ansible Automation Platform, but that's not included with RHEL. It's just something that works well. And it helps you manage costs. Purchasing options include pay-as-you-go, hourly and monthly, cloud access, and 1 and 3 year terms, though those are through private offers. Payment programs include cloud partner commitments, cloud provider committed spend, and programs like Red Hat's hybrid committed spend program. So how do we get to that standard deployment across all platforms? Obviously, you can install RHEL manually wherever you want to install RHEL, but we give you some tools to make this easier. Let's talk a little bit about Image Builder. Image Builder is a great start for building a standard deployment, right? Image Builder is a tool that's included with every RHEL subscription, and it allows you to easily create RHEL-based images in a repeatable way. These images can be created in a number of formats, compatible with major cloud providers and on-premises virtualization platforms. Images can be published directly to your cloud provider. You can even output an ISO file. So you can take that, put it on a disk or on a USB stick and plug it into a physical machine and build out a system that way, or through other delivery mechanisms. Image Builder is, like I said, a great starting point for base images. Image Builder lets you define a template for your images and then makes you a RHEL image that's based on the latest packages right when you build it. This is a great alternative to standard RHEL golden images because not only is it including the latest packages, but it also allows you to customize things like what packages you want to add on top of RHEL from the basic repositories or custom repositories. Lets you customize the default users that are included with your RHEL deployment, and even the disk layout, which can be a big deal, especially when deploying to a cloud provider. So Image Builder, this is just kind of a walkthrough of kind of the process when you're building an image with Image Builder. So you start out by choosing what platform you want to deploy to. You can pick physical, private cloud, like a virtualization platform, VMware or libvirt or a couple other options. Or you can pick a cloud provider. The big three are currently supported: Google Compute, Amazon Web Services, and Azure. Or you can pick an edge deployment. Then you select what type of, or which version of the Image Builder tool you want to use. You have two options at your disposal. One is a hosted option that is the Red Hat Insights Image Builder, hosted at console.redhat.com. Or there's the on-premises version that you can run yourself on top of any RHEL machine. Now, if you choose the on-premises version, if you build it on top of a RHEL 8 machine, it'll spit out RHEL 8 images. Build it on a RHEL 9 machine, it'll spit out RHEL 9 images. The hybrid cloud console hosted version, you can choose whichever deployment you want on the other end. Then you create a blueprint. This is basically how you define your customizations. When you're using the the hybrid cloud console hosted version, there's a nice little wizard that it walks you through. The RHEL web console has a plugin that gives you a similar wizard for when you're running it on premises. Or there's the good old command line. You can define what's called a TOML file, which is your blueprint, which contains all the customizations that you want to include, and then it'll spit out your image at the other end based on what you've asked it to define. Then, of course, you submit all of those instructions to the build queue. Again, through the hybrid cloud console, this is as simple as finishing the wizard and clicking submit. For the hosted version, it's depending on which way you decide to use the tool, it's either through the wizard or through some command line options. And then after the build is completed, you'll be given an option to either download the image or push it to your cloud provider, depending on which options you chose earlier in the wizard. All right, so have you heard about Red Hat Insights? If you haven't, you probably want to check it out. It's something that's included with your RHEL subscription, and it's definitely helpful. Insights is a service that's available on the hybrid cloud console, same place that Image Builder was that I just talked about. Management services included with your RHEL subscription. It's software as a service. You don't have to host this yourself, and it works with on-site or cloud systems pretty much identically. So it's great for hybrid environments. Insights, like I said, is a great tool for analyzing your costs, for recommending actions, and predicting risks. So in a nutshell, Insights is a tool that's included with any RHEL customer, or that any RHEL customer can use. It helps you identify problems before they happen, helps you react to vulnerabilities before they put you on front page news, helps you remediate issues before they wake you up at 2 in the morning. They even help analyze your expense on supported cloud providers. So there's a resource optimization piece in there that will actually analyze based on performance copilot data that you can pull out of RHEL to determine if you have your deployments in the cloud on the proper size instance. So it can help save you money or prevent slowness, to be honest, right? If you have your systems under provisioned, you can identify that before it's a noticeable problem. And you've already got it. As long as you're a RHEL customer, you have access to all of these features. So why wouldn't you want to use Insights is really my question. Couple new things to add is these were announced at Summit. There's some new features in Insights. First of all, there's the ability to add in third-party repositories to images in Image Builder. There's now direct deployment to cloud providers. That was improved with the latest release of the hybrid cloud console. There's active management for RHEL, things like patch templates, and remediation capabilities are now included with all RHEL subscriptions. It used to be that you had to have Red Hat Satellite to do the automated remediation by clicking the button, but that's now included with RHEL. All right, so here's some links to more information if you would like it. And that's it for today. I want to thank you for attending, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
All right. Well, thanks, Nate, for putting together a really informative presentation. It's always great to learn more about what Red Hat is doing and its innovations, which are unending. For those of you who are a little younger, it's completely fair to say that Red Hat has been one of the main companies responsible for just bringing Linux awareness to the general public decades ago. And it's great to see that they're still pushing Linux forward to this day. So thanks again for being here, Nate. It's been fun having you. But before we wrap up today, there's one more piece of business we need to get to. The Amazon gift card prize drawing. As I mentioned earlier, you have to be present for the entire event to be eligible to win the gift card. And the winner of today's $250 card is Guy Rousseau from Georgia. Congratulations, Guy. We'll be in touch to get you your card. And with that, everyone, that's a wrap for this event today. On behalf of the Actual Tech Media team, I want to thank Nate and Red Hat for making this event possible. Thanks to all you attendees for being here and for engaging. We're going to give you a little bit more of your time back this afternoon, and you can get to that now because that concludes today's event. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you on the next event.